good evening, and welcome to the beautiful historical Marionette Theater. Tonight we're featuring an early 2000s film. It's a action comedy with some crime. We've got a couple of pretty young babes, and well, the honeymoon is kind of over.
Oops.
But, things might get fired up again if you hold tight there, and we'll figure a few things out. By the way, the show's about to begin, folks, so please grab your seats.
Grab them. Oh, sorry.
Hey now, Missy, there's no grabbing you. I hear things.
Hi.
Oh, well, good evening, folks. It is the third Friday of the month. And, of course, that can only mean one thing. It's time for that show about film and television trivia.
Yeah, indeed.
And
matinee minutia.
Yes.
The two hardest words to spell in the universe.
Oh, and on a Friday night even. So we are here in the balcony, and we've got some folks joining us in the chat room, because we do. We do this live on YouTube, don't you know?
We got Billy Starsage. I think you know him, DJ.
Yeah.
Why, I think he's your husband. And we got our pal, Tommy Heshbrowns, in the way north country. Goodness knows what it's like out there, but he's probably surrounded by wolves. That's what I hear.
Well, and I am on location tonight. I'm outside the happy home of the happy couple. But if you listen very closely, you might hear some dishes being done. Yes, that's what we'll tell the neighbors.
Those dishes got real done. Let me just tell you.
Goodness. So it's about to be St. Patrick's Day, just around the corner. And this is my annual spiel where I remind everyone that corned beef and cabbage is not an Irish dish, folks. It was invented in a Jewish deli.
Well, that's true. That's true. You know, it's absolutely true. But you know what? I still enjoy celebrating St. Patrick's Day with corned beef and cabbage.
It's kind of like any holiday where there's candy featured, and or at least they used to sell it on sale after the holiday. When it comes to good old St. Patty's Day, you can usually find an assortment of corned beef and cabbage on clearance, or at least reduced.
Exactly. Anyways, I plan on, I listen, it's just once a year I have goddamn corned beef. So I'm not going to stop now.
Once the gout cleared up, you were good, right?
Thankfully, quite seriously, I've never experienced gout, and I hope never to experience gout. Apparently, it's very painful, and I don't know what it's really about, except it's in your toes. I don't really get gout, but I don't want it.
Well, speaking of experiences, the senior showgirl is in the house.
Yeah.
And she's got this delightful little leprechaun outfit on this evening.
Did you notice that, Deej?
Oh, the shimmer. I need my sunglasses.
Listen, this little mini skirt I'm wearing with the shamrocks and everything, but that's not important. The thing I'm trying to figure out tonight, Deej, is my name. And I think it should be Brady or maybe Brad, or I don't know. TJ, what do you think? You got to help me. A combination of Brad Pitt and my name, Gertie.
Now, is there any truth to the rumor, Miss Gertie, that you actually auditioned to be the lady that handed Brad Pitt the Kleenex in this movie?
Oh, DJ, you're so silly. Well, yeah, I did. Anyways, we best not talk about that too much. But anyways,
especially since you dug through the trash to get his gum anyway. I wasn't supposed to talk about that.
No. I'm sure that's not true. Okay, it is. But anyways, I think you may want me to introduce the show now. Shall I?
We'd better before the lawyers get after
Okay.
us.
Yeah, get down there, Gertie. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, and you know what? Actually, let me fix something in post here because
no problem.
I forgot to put the right one in.
I saw Cronehaven's name flash up. Oh, there they are. Hey.
Oh. When Discord notifies Crone, she remembers it's show night. Aw.
Oh.
Well, here we go with that intro.
Are both successful business professionals. Together, they have it all. Luxury cars, a nice house in the suburbs, and a failing marriage. They're both living double lives, it turns out. 6 years into their marriage, after a hard day at the office for both of them, they return home and learn they have something in common. But will it help them reconnect? Or will it be the end of them? And I do mean the end of them, or at least one of them. Grab a bottle of your favorite wine or champagne and your best knives. It's time for Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Take it away, fellas.
What do you get when you take a dash of the silver screen? A pinch of golden oldies, a smidgen of screaming. It's time for Matinee Minutia with your hosts DJ and Toppie.
Ooh, okay.
Yay.
Oh, it's early 2000s action comedy with some crime. And, well, as I said, it's 2005, which you don't want to admit, but that was decades ago about now.
Okay. You're right. When you're right. It's kind of a long time ago now.
So long ago. What do we need to do, Toppie?
Well, DJ, I think you should remind us, because we've forgotten probably, but in 2005, DJ, what was going on in U.S. history?
Oh, well, so there's quite a few things. I might need your help on this, so we'll do it every other, if that's okay with you.
Okay.
All right. U.S. history in 2005. The Deep Impact NASA space probe was launched. Yeah, there was a movie a few years before, and who knows which was named after each other. But it was designed to study the interior composition of the comet Tempel-1. Photographs taken by the spacecraft show the comet to be more dusty and less icy than had been expected.
Mm-hmm. Deep Impact used to be my every Friday night. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Go ahead.
Oh, what's that next one on the chart there, sir?
Mazda. It's a hearing impaired owned studio, and it was founded during its existence. They produced 10 films. Just before Valentine's Day, YouTube goes online for the first time. The Kyoto Protocol, which sounds very like international weirdo, because it was an international treaty that extended the 1992 United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Let's call it UNFCCC. Okay, that commits state parties to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Well, that went into 192 nations that signed it, and let's face it, hasn't done a lick of good.
Oh, so continuing on, 2005, because we're all about the silver screen, at the 77th Academy Awards, you know those little chocolate statues wrapped in foil?
Yeah.
It was hosted by Chris Rock that year.
Ooh, was he slapped? No, that was much later, wasn't
it? he was earning it.
Okay.
But it was held at Kodak Theater in Hollywood. Back when Kodak was still making cameras. And had Clint Eastwood's $1 Million Baby winning Best Picture and Best Director. It was Eastwood's second win for both. And Martin Scorsese's The Aviator won 5 awards out of 11 nominations. The telecast had 42.1 million viewers.
All right. Well, we just had the Academy Awards. I don't know how they did in, I'm not sure how much viewership they got. But anyways, 2005. Let's get into Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Well, it was released in theaters, and the social news site Reddit also launched. Reddit, a very strange, weird place on the internet. You just never know about Reddit. And anyways, in July of 2005, NASA launched the Space Shuttle Discovery on its first mission since the loss of the Columbia in 2003.
In 2005, Sprout was launched by a joint venture between PBS, Comcast, and Hit Entertainment, as well as Sesame Workshop. The new network replaced PBS Kids, allowing for initial reach of 16.5 million subscribers. So that's what people put on for the kiddos in the morning.
Okay. Do we know of Sprout? Because I've never heard of it. Is it still going? Is it still a thing?
It's in more recent years, it's become known as Universal Kids.
Okay. All right. In 2005, civil rights activist Rosa Parks. You know her. She made the headlines when she refused to give up her seat in a Montgomery bus. Well, she died of natural causes at the age of 92 in Detroit. She became the first woman to lie in honor in the United States Capitol Rotunda.
Now, I don't know all the details, but I hear tell there's some famous entrepreneur that owned a pizza chain that gave Rosa Parks free rent in the last decade or so of her life that she was in his building.
All right, DJ. In 2005, we're going to look at some celebrity deaths. There's quite a few of them. We have the first woman elected to U.S. Congress, Shirley Chisholm. She died at age 80. Rosemary Kennedy, the older sister of the late President JFK, died at 86. Johnny Carson, a man who will never be imitated. Because I watch his old stuff presently today, and I just see that nobody on late night TV reaches anywhere close to what he did. Anyways, Johnny Carson, the television host and comedian of the Tonight Show, etc., died at age 79. Ozzie Davis, actor, director, poet, playwright, author, and activist. The star of a movie we've done here, Buddha Hotep.
Bubba.
Which is, Bubba, sorry. Yes, DJ. Bubba Hotep, which is one of the 10 movies that I ever found here that I just got such a kick out of. Anyways, Ozzie Davis died at 87. Sandra Dee, a former child model and actress, died at 62. Frank Gorshin, the Riddler from 66 Batman, he died at 72. Eddie Albert, Green Acres is the place to be, died at 99. And then there's Anne Bancroft. She was the actress in The Graduate and married to Of all people in the world, Mel Brooks. How did that ever happen? Anyways, she died at 73. Paul Winchell. Okay, this is a man near and dear to my heart. You may have never heard of Paul Winchell, but he is a ventriloquist, a comedian, an actor, a humanitarian, and, yes, an inventor. And he used to do stuff on TV, and he also did a lot of voice work on cartoons. Anyways, God damn it, I love Paul Winchell, the ventriloquist. He died at 82 in 2005. Going on. Oh, sorry, what?
Do you know what he invented?
You know what? What did he invent, that goddamn heart thing?
He invented one of the first artificial hearts.
Yes! That's nuts, DJ. That's freaking nuts.
And, there's a popular, I don't know if they still exist, but when I lived in Colorado, there used to be a chain of donut shops called Winchell's.
It can't have been related.
I don't know.
I don't know. All right. Let's move on quickly and finish this out. John Fiedler, actor and voice of Piglet. No. In Disney's Winnie the Pooh. You know this guy. If you saw this guy or heard his voice, you'd know John Fiedler. He died at 80 in 2005. Luther Vandross, singer, songwriter, record producer, died at 54. James Doohan, actor Scotty. I cannot hold her. It's breaking apart. Died at 85. Peter Jennings, Barbara Bell Geddes, Brock Peters, Bob Denver, Robert Wise. Oh, a lot of people perished this year. Don Adams, Nipsey Russell. Give us a poem, Nipsey. What the hell, Nipsey Russell? I don't even understand. Wendy Jo Sperber. DJ? Do you know who Wendy Jo Sperber is?
Oh, my God. She was on Bosom Buddies.
Oh, okay.
And she was also on a very short-lived Fox series called Babes, about 3 full-figured gals that live together.
All right, that's fine. Well, DJ, our movie tonight came out in the movie theaters, and by the way, our movie tonight did pretty damn well in the ratings, making money, which is not usual for us. So, DJ, tell us what was competing with Mr. and Mrs. Smith at that time in the movies.
Yes, sir. So, it's no surprise because similar to myself, I'm not quite scantily clad, but like Brad Pitt in tonight's movie, people usually ask you at those red carpet events who you're wearing. Hanes. So, in the box office in 2005, the top of the box office included the aforementioned Star Wars Episode 3. That's the one where we find out Luke's father became Darth Vader.
Yeah, something or other.
Yeah. And
I don't know.
Hayden Christensen and, of course, Natalie Portman as Leia's mommy. And that brought in $380 million that year. Runner-up on that was Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, which introduced us to Daniel Radcliffe, and Alan Rickman in that series brought in $273 million.
Okay, what as far as the Harry Potter chain goes, where did the Goblet of Fire come in? 2 or 3, or what was it? It
was either the second or the third film, I think.
Okay.
Our friend Tommy might be able to remind us.
Okay.
So, another film that was successful that year was actually a remake. And despite the fact that it had Tom Cruise in it, I thought it was pretty good. Had also Dakota Fanning, child star. War of the Worlds remake came out in 2005. Brought in $234 million.
All right. Hey, our movie tonight is number 9.
Yeah. So, it's in the top 10, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And why not? Because, again, you've got pretty people and they're running around in their underclothes. So,
are they pretty? They sure are. All
there's
right.
a little something for everyone in Mr. and Mrs. Smith tonight. They brought in $186 million, so they at least paid for craft services and Angelina Jolie's So just because we like to put things into perspective, the film that did one better than Mr. and Mrs. Smith at the box office was an animated feature that had the voices of Chris Rock and Ben Stiller, Madagascar. And that brought in $193 million. And then the rung below Mr. and Mrs. Smith was a film with Will Smith called Hitch. He was sort of a matchmaker. And that brought in $179 million.
All right. Was Madagascar a Disney thing?
I think so. I think it was one of the competing studios like DreamWorks.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get right into the director of tonight's movie, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. That's Doug Liman. And he's an American film director and producer, best known for directing films that you've probably heard of. For instance, 1996's Swingers, 1999's Go, 2002's Biggie, The Bourne Identity, right? Our film tonight, 2005, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. In 2008, Jumper. In 2014, Edge of Tomorrow. And in 2017, American Made. So big-time dealings here, especially with that Bourne Identity, of which he directed the first and then produced a couple of the sequels, but not all the way through to the end. At any rate, Liman was born in 1965 in New York City. And in junior high school, he started making short films, which is pretty early. And later he studied at the International Center of Photography in New York City. Most of his career has been associated with the production company Hypnotic, of which he is the co-owner with a guy named Dave Bardis, whom he met as an undergraduate at Brown University. And while there at Brown University, Liman and Bardis co-founded Brown Television, or BTV, and the National Association of College Broadcasters, or NACB. So they were very active, very interested in television at that time. But then Liman went on to attend the graduate program at University of Southern California. And before he was through with that, he was tapped to helm his first project in 1993, the comedy film Getting In, which is also known as Student Body. It's an American black comedy film directed by Liman and starring Andrew McCarthy, Stephen Mailer, and Christy Swanson. It never, I'm not sure if it ever ran in the theaters. It may have, but basically, I think it was a direct-to-video release in 1994. Lyman's first major success was Swingers, released in 1996. This was a film written by Jon Favreau and based on Favreau's life. It's a comedy about struggling actors amid the L.A. club milieu. And Liman was responsible for raising the funding for the film. And they made it on the cheap for only $25,000, which is on the cheap when you're talking about making movies. It starred Favreau himself and his friend Vince Vaughn, who is in our movie tonight. Friends stayed friends. You know what I mean? The film was a critical success, and it jump-started the careers of everybody, Liman, Vince Vaughn, and many others. And okay, so remember I said that they paid they had to come up with 25,000 to create Swingers in 96. Well, here's the success part of the story. Lyman sold the film to Miramax for $5.5 million. I call that a success.
Right.
Well, Lyman went on to direct Go in 1999, which tracks the events of a drug deal gone wrong through 3 different points of view as plot lines diverge and reconverge. Lyman also was the film's cinematographer. So Lyman's doing a lot here. He is getting his toes into all kinds of things. So that film was a modest success and garnered some positive reviews from critics. And then in 2002, Lyman directed the biggie, The Bourne Identity, starring Matt Damon, which was an adaptation of the 1980 Robert Ludlum novel. And that film, of course, we know, was a box office success, earning over $200 million. And it began a whole Bourne film franchise that has since included like 4 additional films, or maybe more. I don't even know. Now, Lyman only directed the first Bourne film, and he had that first film he did was a very chaotic shoot, and he did not want to repeat that. So he only served as executive producer for the next 3 of the 4 sequels. So we come to 2005, and we've got a movie tonight that Lyman directed, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and it became Lyman's most commercially successful film to that date. Most recently, Doug Lyman is known for producing and directing the first 2 episodes of the 2022 TV series The Recruit, starring Noah Centineo. And that is a spy adventure series that can be seen on Netflix. That's our man, the director, Doug Lyman.
Okay, so we are at about the halfway mark in our show this evening. So for your listening enjoyment, I have an interview with this leading lady of tonight's film, Angelina Jolie. And this is a interview that was featured on one of those sort of celebrity shows. Nowadays they call it... was it TMZ? And so this was kind of like that, but in those days it was called Extra. Like, about it, Extra.
Oh, yeah, I used to watch that all the goddamn on TV. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so here we are with Angelina Jolie on Extra.
You're funny.
Oh, really?
And we haven't seen that side of you.
I'm so happy to hear that, because I'm very nervous about my ability to do comedy. Thank you.
You and Mr. Pitt, my God, you're so funny together.
Oh, great.
Lots of intense gun training, I'm sure, went into this. Talk to me about that.
We went to real fighting, the gun shooting range together, which was which is an amazing thing to do for your actors, to have them get to know each other. You know, there's. Yeah. The trust you suddenly have when somebody has a live weapon, and they have to cross your back, and it's another actor, and it's not somebody that's, you know. So we both we had to learn to go in tandem. We had to learn to do kind of like operations together. So because of that, we became very aware of teamwork and trust, and so it was kind of a perfect thing to make us a team to do that.
You get to know each other in a different way, kind of a lot quicker.
Yeah, yeah. So we did that, and I think that helped the action scenes, but it also helped just to start to work on that level together.
One of my favorite scenes is the tango knife throwing scene.
Me too.
Whew. Hot.
Thank you.
Really? Really? Now, tell me about choreographing that, because you're not only dancing.
Yeah, which was funny for I think the two of us, we both had a, we had to go to dance class. Like, we're very happy to go to the gun shooting range. We both seemed individually fine with that, and then we had to go to dance class, and it was just, oh, Jesus, the two of us. And then they showed us the idea of what they wanted us to do first, which was very different than what you see in the film.
Right. But you're no stranger.
Full-on salsa that, we were both just...
But you're no stranger to knives. You know a lot about knives.
I know knives, and strange enough, I do know dancing a bit when it comes to, but it was funny. It was another level for us to have to learn how to dance together. It's a funny thing.
Yeah.
But it was really good, and it was just the story behind it. We got lost, and so it's a kind of, he gets one on me, I get one on him, and he gets one, and so it was try to figure out how to do it all, and we actually it was our idea to slam against the glass. We're very proud of it.
Which is great. You can see that the two of you obviously got on very well on set, and your chemistry is really palpable. So that wasn't something that you really had to work hard at achieving, was it?
No, it was yeah. It's nice when that happens.
Yeah, because it doesn't happen all the time, does it?
No, I mean, you can find, I'm one of those people, if I'm working with somebody, I can find pretty much anything about them I can try to get on with. But it is nice when it's so easy and you just have a laugh, and yeah, it was really nice.
I think the moral of the story of this film is that when Mr. and Mrs. Smith's secrets are exposed, they in turn become liberated. Do you kind of embrace that idea in theory?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in a friendship or in a marriage or in anything, I think to be able to be who you are is what we all want. We all want to just be able to wake up and just be exactly who we are, say what we want to say, feel it. Just nothing about us has to adjust to. And I wish everybody was like that in the world. I wish everybody was exactly who they were, so we could all really learn about each other.
Yeah, you can get the clap here on MatMin Minutia.
Okay, so of course, as we know, it takes a boatload of talent to put together something like this, a movie. And behind the scenes, all these folks that are getting paid to get into the roles. Well, the leading man in tonight's film was played by Mr. Brad Pitt.
Woo!
Yeah, he was John Smith, so, everyday average Joe. Now, Brad Pitt attended the University of Missouri, or as they say in those parts, Missouri, where he majored in journalism with a focus on advertising. And before he became a success acting, Pitt supported himself by driving strippers in limos. Now,
because, of course, he did.
Right. I mean, we assume that it might be ladies, but you never know. Driving strippers in limos, though, it sounds like the title of a low-budget film, I think.
No, or at least a reality series, am I right?
I would think so. That it's like Taxi Cab Confessions, huh? He also moved refrigerators, and there is a chain of chicken restaurants out in the Midwest and West called El Pollo Loco. He dressed up as a chicken for a while there. Now, of course, as we very famously talked about in one of our early episodes on MatMin Minutia, we did a cliffhanger, quite literally, and talked about Thelma and Louise. That was his big break when he was met as the pretty boy hitchhiker.
Okay, all I want to say, DJ, that was the first time I saw him, and my heart was going thumpity thump. That's how exciting he was on the screen. Really.
Oh, well, I'm sure that there are some thumbtack holes in a wall somewhere for that picture. So let's see now. Pitt had 8 roles in the 5 years leading up to Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So he was a busy guy, paying those bills and, putting the distance between him and the strippers. Yeah. The films included 2000's The Mexican, which he co-starred in with Julia Roberts. He was also in a film in 2001 with Robert Redford called Spy Game. And then most famously, he entered a series of films that were sequels to each other called Ocean's 11 and 12 and so on, with George Clooney and Matt Damon, who were masterminds at robbing the casino. Let's see, now, in the 5 years that would follow Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Brad Pitt would continue working in film and would appear in 6 titles, which included in the Oceans series, Oceans 13, which of course had many of the same people as the film in 07. Another film, which is actually kind of one of my favorites, and I haven't seen it more than a couple of times, but Burn After Reading is a cute film with Frances McDermott and John Malkovich. And, well, it's one of those movies that you sort of hate watch because Brad Pitt plays a pretty boy who gets shot.
Oh, dear.
Basically a gym type, like a fitness instructor who comes across intelligence information, like CIA level stuff, and thinks that he can sell it. So that was Burn After Reading. And then a film in 2008 he was in with Cate Blanchett and Tilda Swinton, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, which I highly recommend. It's very unusual because the character starts off as a young man in an old man's body, and he goes through life regressing, so he actually becomes younger as he gets older. Let's see now. Brad Pitt was previously married to Jennifer Aniston, very famously of the Friends TV series.
Oh, God, this is a whole thing, folks.
Yes.
Whole thing.
From 2000 until 2005. Quinky Dink? I don't know. This movie, 2005.
Oh. DJ, that's the date our movie was done today. That starred Brad Pitt and Angeline Jolie. What do you suppose might have happened? I don't know.
They might have been in line at craft services and both and cheese, but I think it has something to do with "I love you to death" and let me, boink you up against the wall.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
But anyways, shortly, in a handful of years after this film, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie would famously do the tango like they did in the movie, and they got hitched. But unlike their counterparts in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, their marriage didn't last as long. It ended in 2019. Now, Brad Pitt...
did it really end all that long ago?
Yeah. Brad and Angelina Jolie have a total of 6 children together, believe it or not. 3 of them were adopted and 3 are their own biological. So, a big family. Now, I'm sorry, I don't mean to gossip, but I've heard tell that partly due to the circumstances of the divorce, none of the children have anything to do with their dad.
I don't. DJ, let me ask you something. Do you relish or enjoy following Hollywood gossip like this? Personally, I just don't get anything out of it, and I kind of just try to ignore it. What about you? Some people just eat this shit up.
I honestly feel that one of the things that we lose sight of is the fact that even though celebrities get to be very recognized in movies and TV shows and whatnot, they are just people like you and I. In fact, I had the pleasure of spending time with Star Trek's George Takei once. And he shared an experience where he was out to dinner and a crazed fan interrupted his meal for an autograph. He was actually putting the spoon up to his mouth with soup, and his hand was pushed away so that he could talk to him.
Ugh.
That's ridiculous. But what I do find interesting about some celebrity gossip is when their lives mimic our own, and sure, it's messy and it's disgusting, and it probably wouldn't even make the news if it was anybody else. But these people get their hearts broken too.
Yeah.
Make dumb mistakes. So
they're in the public limelight. They're popular. They're beautiful. People want to know about them. And I guess, for better or for worse, if you are the stature of these kinds of stars, I'm not sure what you can do but just roll with it and maybe try to stay out of the public eye. I don't know. But DJ, after everything is said and done, how many acting credits does Brad Pitt have?
Oh, goodness. Well, so he's appeared in 4 films over the past 5 years, including 2019 with Tommy Lee Jones and Donald Sutherland. This is a film called Ad Astra. And most recently in a film called Babylon in 2022 with a star of the recent Barbie film, Margot Robbie. And one of your personal favorites, Toppie, Jean Smart, who a lot of people know from Designing Women.
All right.
And Babylon is about a tale of outsized ambition and outrageous success. It traces the rise and fall of multiple characters during an era of unbridled decadence and depravity in early Hollywood. So hence Babylon.
All right.
And he has 88 acting credits to date.
All right. That's pretty cool. I tend to think that either Brad Pitt or Brad Pitt's agent is they're doing pretty well on finding roles for Brad Pitt as he ages. Just my personal look at it. Let's go on to Angelina Jolie, who played Jane Smith in Mr. and Mrs. Smith. She was born in 1975, and she's an American actress, filmmaker, and leave us not forget, humanitarian. There are all sorts of... Okay, so you know how sometimes stars like to stand up for things and causes? Well, Angelina Jolie has stood up for 1 million of them. And I think, to her credit, she's drawn attention because of her stardom to a lot of issues maybe would have flown under the radar. So good for her. Angelina Jolie is the recipient of numerous accolades, including an Academy Award and 3 Golden Globe Awards. She has been named Hollywood's highest paid actress multiple times. Jolie made her screen debut as a child alongside her father. Did you know this, DJ? Because I only found this out I don't know how long ago. Jon Voight's her freaking father. Oh. Did you know this?
I might have, but it is quite a thing to know about her.
All right. Well, Jon Voight was in the 70s and late 60s, a mega. I mean, he was just in the Hollywood eye, and he was doing amazing work. Anyways, yeah. Angelina Jolie is Jon Voight's daughter. Anyways, she was cast as a child alongside Jon Voight and looking to get out in 1982. But, pardon me, her film career really began in earnest a whole decade later with the low-budget production of Cyborg 2 in 1993, which any sci-fi schlock movie nut will tell you gotta see. This was followed by her first leading role in 1995 in a movie called Hackers. In that, she starred as the biographical television films. Oh, I'm sorry. After that, she starred in the biographical television films George Wallace in 1997 and Gia in 1998. Those were television films. Then in 1999, Jolie won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for playing a sociopath in the drama Girl Interrupted, opposite co-star Winona Ryder. that was an amazing goddamn film.
And Whoopi Goldberg was in it.
Jesus, was she?
She was one of the nurses.
Honest to God, DJ, I don't remember that. All right. That's wild. Was it a major role?
Yeah, she was one of the advisors on the staff there. She talked with the girls.
God damn, I don't remember that. That's wild. All right. Well, after Girl Interrupted, she really became famous as the titular heroine in Lara Croft Tomb Raider in 2001. Now, that movie is what really established her as a mega star. So she continued her action star career with our movie Tonight. In 2005, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, she followed it up with a movie called Wanted in 2008 and a movie called Salt in 2010. She also received critical acclaim for her performances in the dramas A Mighty Heart in 2007 and then Changeling in 2008, for which she earned a nomination for the Academy Award for Best Actress. Her biggest commercial success includes the fantasy picture Maleficent in 2014 and its 2019 sequel. I think maybe the last time we saw her, maybe DJ, you know more, but I think the last time we saw Angelina Jolie was in 2021 when she appeared in the Marvel superhero film, The Eternals.
I have not seen that yet.
Yeah, so there you go. DJ, we have a supporting performance by one Vince Vaughn that is pretty good in this movie. Tell us about Vince Vaughn.
Oh, right. So Vince Vaughn, he was born in Minneapolis, Minnesota in 1970. Now, Mr. Vaughn is someone who's known for playing mostly character types and supporting roles.
Yeah.
He was in high school. Well, when he was in high school, he played football, baseball, and was in wrestling. Vince has since described himself as unathletic and very average in sports. He was, however, more interested in theater, and he credited his mom as the inspiration behind his career, saying that I saw her overcome stuff and that if you worked hard in something, you'd give yourself a chance. In 88, he moved to Hollywood and starred in minor television roles. But it wasn't until 96 that his breakout role finally happened with the comedy Swingers that Toppie talked about earlier. And in the year following, he appeared in the 97 Spielberg blockbuster, The Lost World, Jurassic Park. And he continued to land roles in many hit films. Now, as I was saying, Vince Vaughn has been known for playing character types and supporting roles. He became part of a group that became known as the Frat, F-A-R-T, like a fraternity, Frat Pack.
That would have been named after the Rat Pack way back when with oh God, well, anyways, all of a sudden the members of the Rat Pack have escaped my mind.
Yes, it was Sinatra.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
Was it Sammy Davis?
Sammy Davis. What is wrong with us? We can't remember any of these names.
In the 80s, there was a Brat Pack for the John Hughes movies. But anyways, the Frat Pack, it was a group of comedy actors who have appeared together in many of the highest-grossing comedy films since the 90s. This includes the likes of Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson, who I wish we could get that nose fixed, but it's part of his trademark, Luke Wilson, Will Ferrell, which I could take it or leave it, Steve Carell, Jack Black, and Vince Vaughn, as we've mentioned. Now, Vince continues to have a successful career, and he currently has 5 projects in the works, one of which is a television show called Bad Monkey.
Wow.
And it's about a one-time detective demoted to restaurant inspector in southern Florida. This talented actor will be on both the big screen and the small screen for some time to come.
Okay. Well, that's fun. So, DJ, let me try to think. I'm almost convinced. I know I did. I saw this when the movie came out in the movie theaters, so way back then. And by then, I mean, we knew who Brad Pitt was. I'm not sure I knew who Angelina Jolie was, but when they came together in this movie, there is no denying that they had a thing on screen. And the reason this movie is so fun is that we see them together and we see them going through these things, and we see them apparently as actors just having fun going through this ridiculous, inconceivable, improbable, not so script, but they're having a good time, and we're totally willing to go along with them because it's just so wonderful. And that's what I remember. And I watched it again the other night, and I saw so many more subtle things that were going on between Angelina and Brad Pitt. And it was all about the acting, and there were all I'm saying is, in the midst of all of this ridiculous blasting and shooting and explosions, there were little bits where they caught each other's eye and gave, it was a little corner of the mouth that came up. I don't know, but it signaled to me that, okay, there was something else going on here, and it made it completely enjoyable, in spite of the fact that it was a completely absurd, ridiculous script. I loved it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think I saw this at the theater too, mostly because of the appeal of the leading people in it. One of my favorite films is Hackers, which, okay, it was a few years before Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And I also really loved Girl Interrupted. I have copies of both films, but it was just... it's one of those films that you can enjoy time after time and pick up on things in other viewings. Like the last time I watched it recently, there were all these great chemistry moments between the characters where they have to be this couple who's having marital problems, but they're trying to hide the fact that they don't know that each other are assassins just yet.
Okay, which is absurd,
Uh-huh.
because both of them have stashes, unbeknownst to the other, of weapons. Angelina Jolie has, like, I don't know, what the fuck? In the refrigerator, up comes some sort of conveyor belt, and she's got 50 million guns. Brad Pitt goes to a shed in the backyard, and there's 50,000 million of the most up-to-date killing guns of ever. Anyways, it's ridiculous, but we don't care because it's kind of fun.
I mean, it's kind of like if they did a modern remake of Get Smart with Maxwell Smart 99 as being played by supermodels.
That's perfect, yes.
Now, the only complaint I had about this movie is that Brad Pitt's attire, his clothing, was fairly conservative because, of course, they were the happy suburban couple who has nice things. So he's running around in his underwear, but it leaves, everything's covered. Damn it!
Well, okay, so are boxer shorts conservative? And should he have been wearing tighty-whities? Oh. Well, we'll never know because he was wearing boxer shorts. Oh. Anyways, it was cute as the dickens to see Brad and Jolie in their underwear after they had tried to kill each other. And by then they were simply trying to escape with their lives from the organization which had decided that they must be destroyed. They're both spies from different organizations. They don't know it, which is just silly, but we buy it because why not? And eventually they discover this about themselves. And the important thing is that when the movie starts, we are introduced to two characters who have been through 6 years of marriage, and it's kind of ho-hum. Mm-hmm. And they're going to a therapist, and they're trying to figure out, like, why is our marriage failing, without even really acknowledging that their marriage is failing. And this is before they find out that each of the other one is a spy, just like they are. And then the movie goes into high gear. And then we see each of them, like, okay, in one scene, DJ, they are totally trying to kill each other.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they are throwing knives. They are shooting bullets. But by the way, somehow these bullets never meet their target.
I mean, the closest they come is one time Angelina throws a knife and it lands in her husband's leg.
That's true. Yeah, fine. Okay, there you go. Anyways, if you want to enjoy this movie, you got to get by all the absurdity and just go with it. And the end impact is hell of a lot of fun. The director really does a great job in depicting all of this action. You are never lost. You always know what's going on because the director has firm control of what's happening. And it is magnificent. There's use of slow motion when it's awesome, like not tedious. It's just very skillfully made, I think.
Mm-hmm. So I hate to put you on the spot, kind of, Toppie, but I have to ask a question. As you and we've both said, you picked up on things that you maybe didn't the last time you watched it when you see it again. Now, they're going after the same target, the same mark, as they call it, and that's how they figure out that each other is an assassin, because there's a scene in the film where Angelina's character is reviewing this camera footage, and she's seeing the guy that screwed up her setup, and it's literally her husband, and the other person in her office says that it's her husband because he's calling on the phone, but it really sets it up. It's like, Jane, it's your husband. Anyway, the person that they're running after, did you ever figure out what that person did to be a target?
Okay, I think that's a bit of a MacGuffin.
Yeah.
In that, if we were supposed to know, I didn't really know.
Oh, which is
It
so
didn't
subtle.
seem to matter,
Yeah.
except that he was a pawn in the whole thing. And, be quite honest, if you were to pin me down what exactly he did to interest two different assassination groups to assassinate him, I couldn't tell you.
Oh, it's so subtle, Toppie, and it really doesn't matter, but it's kind of like the ending of the film. And this isn't really a spoiler because, this movie's almost 20 years old. But in the end, when it's decided that they're not going to try to kill each other anymore, their agency hires anybody who can get rid of them because now, they're a threat. The info's out there. Anyways, the darn kid in the beginning of the film was also an assassin, and he botched a job, apparently. And so that's what made him become a target, because loose lips sink ships.
Okay. You know what? That actually is explained, DJ. You're quite correct. I've forgotten about that. By the way, as I was watching this, all I could think of was the owner of Facebook. What the fuck is his name?
Oh, Mark Zuckerberg.
All I could think of is that this is the guy they're showing, Mark Zuckerberg. And that made me laugh. I don't know.
Oh, well, I don't remember the actor's name, but the kind of mousy kid who's... The actor actually played a newer version of the Greg Brady character in the more recent sequels.
Is that right? Oh, God, I don't remember that. Okay. Well, DJ, the reason this movie works for me is totally the combination of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie and what they accomplish on screen. They look like they're having so much fun in this blockbuster explosion shoot 'em up. And watching it is fun. And if you want to make sense of anything, just forget about it. Just enjoy it for what it is. It's a popcorn bubblegum movie, and skillfully done. And the soundtrack, the music, amazing. It's got a fantastic soundtrack.
Very thrilling in exactly the right moment.
Yeah, I really appreciate it the second time around. Even more so the first time. They just do a terrific bang-up job, and the director knows exactly what he's doing. And by God, that's a director to be admired. I gotta tell you.
So, Toppie, we are out here, and we're wandering towards the lobby. So we are at a point where we talk about what else you might enjoy if you like films like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Star Snack Tray. I'm going to go ahead and recommend a slightly more recent, although not very recent, film. And this stars Ashton Kutcher, who is another celebrity who's been married and divorced. And it has actress Katherine Heigl, who hasn't been in a lot of things, but very famously, I think, was in... it was either Mean Girls or there was a TV show about Roswell. Yeah, I think it was Roswell. The show. Anyways, this is a film from 2010 with Ashton Kutcher, and it's called Killers. And it's about a vacationing woman who meets her ideal man, leading to a swift marriage. But back at home, however, their idyllic life is upset when they discover their neighbors could be assassins who have been contracted to kill the couple. 2010's Killers is
mine. Nice. Good choice, DJ. Well, I had to think a little long and hard about this one. But what I finally came up with was a 1996 American thriller film. And it was directed by Rennie Harlan and written and produced by Shane Black. And it stars familiar people you will know, Gina Davis and Samuel L. Jackson. Snakes on a plane! Oh, sorry. The story follows an amnesiac schoolteacher, Davis, who sets out to recover her identity with the help of a private detective, Jackson, when they discover a dark conspiracy. And in this movie, you will see a lot of the same high-tech gunfire that goes crazy in Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So if you like that kind of thing, you are sure to like The Long Kiss Goodnight from 1996.
Oh, otherwise known as Everyone Run, Gina Davis has got a gun.
There you go.
Oh, alrighty. So, Toppie, it's that time of the evening, and we peek over the balcony and let everyone know who was here in the chat room with us tonight.
We are awfully pleased to always say who was with us because, DJ, we do this live. We really do. And we do it every first and third Friday night at exactly 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And there are some kind folks that always help us out by showing up in the chat room that you can find on... What can they find it on, DJ?
Discord.
Discord, thank you. And our folks tonight are Tommy Hash Browns. He's here every week. Your hubby Billy was here. We also had the ever mysterious Crownhaven. I think we had Lamont Cranston from New York City. And who else do we have? Am I missing anyone? I think that's about it. But anyways...
You never know in these old theaters when people are sneaking in the back door.
The important thing is that you guys help us out by being in the chat room when we do this live. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Toppie, we have this thing we do when we want to let folks know about what's coming up next. Grab that bag of coins up there. The magician left us so we can...
Here you go.
Okay.
Oh.
We're going to put the coin in the...
Yeah.
Okay. Pick it off the floor for me, please.
Oh, is it on the... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, it's way down. Oh, my back. Oh. Okay, I got it.
I think Gertie cleaned up the vending again.
Maybe.
She might have used more than elbow grease.
I'm opening the capsule. Oh, thank you. Thank you, DJ. All right, next time on Matinee Minutia, an early 80s drama from the director of Network, 1976. This is about an outcast, alcoholic, Boston lawyer who sees the chance to salvage his career and self-respect by taking a medical malpractice case to trial rather than settling. Folks, next time we're going to be talking about The Verdict with Paul Newman and James Mason. DJ, when's our next little shoe?
Okay, well, March is a long month this year, so we are going to be coming back to you in 3 weeks' time, because this is only the first and third Friday of the month.
Okay.
So it's going to be the first Friday in April, which will be April 5th.
God damn it, DJ, why can't all months be the same? So we're just on the first and third, and there's never any confusion. Why can't that be?
I mean, were you a leap year baby? Maybe you get to skip birthday.
Maybe not. Anyways, let's wrap this up, DJ.
All right. If you will, sir, please say goodnight like that kindly old couple that was on the radio.
Okay, I will. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Thank you for listening to Matinee Minutia.
Our show streams live on the first and third Friday of the month.
Go to matineeminutia.com, click the YouTube icon for live video, enter Discord or chat.
You can find our show anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Visit our webpage at matineeminutia.com.
Tweet us on Twitter at Matinee Minutia.
Find our group on Facebook.
Have an idea for a show? Or why not let us know how we're doing?
Email us at matineeminutia@gmail.com.